Hi everyone, we are going to be doing our next stitch for our stitch along. We have done so many so far. You've learned the stem stitch, straight stitches, you did back stitch on here, more straight stitches. And then you did these leaves and the woven wheels. And then today we're going to be working on these, I kind of say like eucalyptus type of leaf. These loops, the leaves are called Lazy Daisy. That is the stitch we will be using. Your stem, again, you could use that stem stitch or the whipped back stitch. You could also just use a back stitch, but I like to have some of that dimension with the stem stitch, so that's why that's my preferred stem stitch, I guess. And so, yeah, it's actually pretty easy. It does take up a fair amount of thread. So I will show you. I started on my practice one and just made a stem right here, as you can see. We are always going to start from the bottom, and I am going to show you over here. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up through the bottom and then come back down, leaving some space. So coming up and come back down, and I like to go in the same hole for this one. You can probably barely tell, but I'm going back in the same one, and I'm holding it in my thumb, as you can see. And what you're going to do is come up through the bottom, loop it around your loop right now, and then pull. And this is where just taking a little bit of practice like trying a few practice rounds will be good, because if you pull it really taut, it looks really straight. And sometimes that's what the look you're looking for. If you leave it a little bit more soft, I think that's usually more the leaf shape that I'm looking for. So that's kind of what I do. And then to finish this one, you just go you go over the loop, over the leaf loop, and you are basically just kind of tacking it down. So I kind of hold it in place with my thumb and then pull it through. So as you can see, there it is. You have, this is like the big loop, and then you have this little tap down part for the leaf. So I'm gonna do a couple more to show you. Here, I'm gonna come up just on the side. I go back down through that same hole. I, again, like loop it over my thumb. And then I pick how far I'm gonna go. This, again, like you can change this look so much by just adding more tension, adding more thread. You know, the number of fibers will make it look more thick. And how far you go obviously would play into that. Can I hold it back down and tag it in? If it looks a little funky, just like move it around a little bit. I'm gonna go on this side now. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know, I mean, just like the way leaves are, they're all different shapes and sizes. I try to have like some pattern to it, but like if they come out uneven, like that's okay. That's what I think this type of fiber art is nice, is like there is just so much freedom with it. And then go back down. So one of the things, just to show you a little different dimension, if you like the look of it kind of being like loose like that, or you could also go back through and add another stitch, just a straight stitch in the middle of the leaf. It kind of fills it in a little bit more. Some people like to do that. Same with this one. Oops, got a little twisted. Yeah, it just kind of fills it in a little bit more than just like leaving it open like that one does. But that is your Lazy Daisy stitch. Now you might also see on your one, I have made these Lazy Daisy flowers as well. And so I usually do 5 leaf petals to it. It is the same stitch. You're just going around in a circle. So we're going to do that really quickly too. And since I didn't exactly make a guide like I did for you for the actual stitch along, it may look a little off, but I figure it's worth showing. So I go down and back up, and here's my first stitch. This is where I might not go in through the same hole, but like right next to it to do my next petal. I mean, you could make it really full. I just kind of pick 5 typically. Let's just do that. That looks a little too tight. Right there. 2. Where are we? Keep rotating. And I am going to show you how to fill in the hole with a French knot. So you'll want it kind of close, but if it's not exactly touching, that's fine too. Where are we? Yeah, I did think this would come out exactly even. Now, one fun thing people do is to layer this stitch, and that looks really pretty. You can kind of make it look like a dahlia, and so that's a pretty look as well. Oh gosh, these are looking all over the place, but you can kind of see the way that it's going is it's just the same stitch in a different manipulation to create a flower look instead of a petal, which we've done many of those. And there we go. There is our little Lazy Daisy daisy. Yeah, so again, these are a couple of manipulations of the Lazy Daisy stitch. And feel free to practice, and then yeah, you have a lot of practice with this stitch between the flowers and the leaves. And then our last stitch to learn is that French knot, and then we'll learn how to back the to finish our hoop and back it. So you're almost there.